Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2022 as we continue our Journeyman and Glory Hunter run. And today is our transfer special and end review of the last season as we get ready to start our fourth season of this challenge. This is our second season, our first full season in Russia, and we'll see if we can do enough to move on to something else, because we can't stay in Russia forever. That we could get very much stuck here if we're not careful. So let's get into the episode. All right, here we are. End of season review. AVANGARD KURSK 23-24 season. Here are the new arrivals. Most of these were here when we showed up. A couple of the ones that we picked up were Dietz, who looks like he got a C rating overall. Did he get signing of the season? Wow. I'm kind of surprised by that. Maybe he'll work out for us after all. Veiling here we picked up. He got a C rating. Moss got a C rating. And then Arkenberg also got a C rating. So not great ratings for the four people we picked up. And honestly, not great average ratings over here on the other side as well. So maybe not the best players in the world. I was hoping they could help with something. If nothing else, give us a little bit of more rotation. It did not look like it worked out quite as well as I'd hoped, but it is what it is. All of the outs happened before I joined in, so I'm not even going to look at those. You guys don't know who those are. I don't know who those guys are. Should not matter at all. Loans out did not happen with us either, so we'll just skip over that as well. Board expectation was mid-table, although board expectation when we joined was avoid relegation, and of course we did that. We did end up in a top half finish, though. Top 10. Barely. We snuck in there. But, yeah, top 10 finish. Not too bad. Top goal scorer was Galajan with 13 goals. That is actually a really low number of goals. Probably a big part of our problem. We need to get a better goal scorer in here. Hopefully. I'm really hoping Harker can play at this level. I don't know. It's hard to... Some of his ratings look better than some of the guys here. But overall, is he at this level? I don't know. We'll find out. He's tall. Maybe that'll be enough. Tall with good heading, specifically. Obviously, you guys remember the competition results. Had this great stretch here in the middle, and then just started falling apart. But yeah, still a decent season overall. We didn't play in the Russian Cup, well, at least not while I was here, so that one is irrelevant to us. And let's move on. At least Kimki and Ska Khabarovsk are not going to be in this league anymore. Unfortunately, Spartak M2 will stay in this league because they cannot move up because Spartak is in the top league. In fact, I'm assuming they're still probably the best team in the top league. Let's see here. Here's the biggest win. AVANGARD KURSK against Chaika. And this is one we saw, right? I think it was. And then we saw AVANGARD KURSK against Shinnik was the match to remember. And then the goal of the season was Sarah Mutin in November. So it would have been one we would have seen. So let's go check this goal out. Might as well. Watch the goals. We took over in what? September, was it? I don't exactly remember. There's Buteyev over here in the corner. Darov. There's, oh yeah, that's good. Go right there. Volkanov. Of course, Sarah Mutin should be, I think it's the next one. There's Tekuchev. There we go. Sarah Mutin right there. Oh, that was that one. Yeah, where he just kind of, it almost looked like he floated a little bit with a good curve on it. That was a good one. And then we get the penalty from there. Good stuff. No, that was a good goal. I'm glad we got to see that goal again. Very, very cool. All right. The finances were abysmal. No new sponsors, no new of anything. Looks like not a lot has changed. It actually went down a little bit from the previous season. There's our merchandise sales. Galajan looks like he was number one. Martinov, Mysultanov, Lobkarev, and Tekuchev. Makes sense. Yeah, sounds like exactly who I would buy jerseys for if I was rooting for this team. Here's how we lined up, the 4-1-4-1. We may have to change that next season. We'll have to see. I'm not sure if this will be quite what we're looking for. Player of the awards, fans player of the season was Martinov, center back. That makes sense. Young player of the season, also Martinov. Signing of the season was Dietz, although, again, not a lot of signings, to be fair. Sarah Mutin was goal of the season. We saw that one. Galajan, 13 goals. Such a low number of goals. We got to get that up into the 20s, I think, to have a chance. Mysultanov, 8 assists. Galajan to get 3 player of the match awards. Highest average rating was Martinov at 7.2. And then most passes completed was Sarah Mooten at 53. Record breakers. Most overall goals by player in the season was 30. That's a record. Wow. Most goals by player in a match is 2. Wow, some of these are bad. These are pretty bad. Maybe they just don't have a very big history in the game itself. So, all right, there we go. And anybody inducted? Darov apparently was one of 3 players, Chagrov and Bokev, who became part of the best 11. Darov actually is in there. And then, of course, Martinov we've seen. He was already there. Galajan was already there. Who was the other one? Chagrov? He must be the backup goalkeeper, I'm guessing. Yes. And then Bokev, who is the backup right there. So, yeah. No, not bad. At least, a couple players getting in there. So we know we have some okay players. I mean, we'll see. But budget set for next season, $4.1 million per week, $1.7 million in the transfer budget. And this is rubles, Russian rubles. What I have, at least I think I do. Let me double check to make sure I didn't click the wrong button. I don't recognize the symbol, so I think that is though. Overview, yeah, Russian ruble. So yeah, so should be good. So obviously big numbers compared to what we were seeing at KURSK and Ashton, but that's just because it's a different exchange rate. We definitely have some room in the wage budget. The transfer budget is pretty sad, quite frankly. But what are you gonna do? Performance overall, defensive efficiency. Quiet defense and leaky defense. That's never good. I mean, the quiet defense is okay. Leaky defense, not so much. Long range shots. Expected goals, 1.3. Attempts, 28. And how many did we actually make? How many did it say? None. None of our 28 shot attempts from outside the penalty. What? Wow. That doesn't make sense. I thought the Sarah Mooten goal was outside the penalty area. Maybe not. There's the conceded none of the 10 shots attempted from outside the penalty. So we haven't conceded very many out there. So I guess there's that. And then our goalkeeping demands further attention. Leaky defense, still quiet defense. So still kind of there. But honestly, almost borderline getting into this section down here. So that's something. And then defending, we were way down here. Fewer blocks, fewer clearances. So not great in that regard. Club expectations. Sign players under the age of 20 for the future. I will try. Do not sign players over the age of 30. I will try. Work within the wage budget. Sign players to sell for profit. Again, we'll try. Then wants to be mid-table. And hopefully working towards finishing the top half. And then, yeah, so that's basically it. And again, we will do the best we can. Dressing room atmosphere. Actually, managerial support went up quite a bit. They actually started liking me there towards the end. That's good to see. Plans for next season. Oof. We're going to seek a mid-table finish next year. They seem to be pretty happy with that. I mean, I obviously want more, but I also want to keep these guys happy. So we'll go with that. We'll talk about promises when they get back. I think that sounds good. A little bit of happiness as they head off. New season team report. Good standard of aerial supremacy from the goalkeepers. Okay. Plenty of room in the wage budget for, yeah, I didn't touch much of the wage budget there towards the end. Number of talented prospects. That's good. I don't know. We'll see. Some of the things we're not good at. Arkenberg, I don't care about him. He was just a new guy that we added on. Mediocre squad standard compared to the rest of the league. Really? Okay. Not a great deal of quality depth outside the first team. Yeah, that's true. Dribbling isn't a collective plus point. This isn't the best squad in terms of finishing. Fair enough. Squad tends to lack good heading. Well, there's a spot Harker can come in here and help us out with. Best squad in terms of long range shooting. This is not the best squad in terms of long range shooting. Lots of negatives. Lots of negatives for us to try and figure out. A lot of injuries too this season. I hope that gets better next year. We are now gone on holiday, and we'll do the staff meeting. I'll do the staff meeting offline. All right. Well, when I come back, we'll come back if there's any news. That's basically where we're at. If there's any news, we will come back. Otherwise, you guys probably won't see me again until basically right before the beginning of the season when I go over all the transfers. So I will see you in a bit. All right, we are back. And man, it took me a while to get through this one, even though I didn't end up getting much. I tried to get more. But we did bring in up more money than we sent out. As you can see, we brought in 7.7 million and we spent 2.75. Although we have one more guy that we're trying to pick up for a couple mil. But we'll see. We'll see if it comes in. But here's the team guys we brought in. Or maybe we should start with the guys we let out because, you know, these are guys you're somewhat familiar with. Martinov went out on a free. Couldn't do anything about that. He is what it is, you know. He got a 7.15 for us last year. Pretty big loss to lose him, but it makes sense that he wanted to go to a better club. So I can't argue with that. Arkenberg, who is the guy we brought in on a free last year, one of our foreign guys, he left. We made some money off of him. Cool. That's awesome. Plus him leaving opened up the door for us to bring Rob Parker in. So that was great all around. Molchanov just recently left, and he for some reason I thought there was going to be a loan, but I think there were two offers in, one for a loan, one for a buy. I mean, we didn't sell him for much, and he didn't play a lot for us last season, but he played well enough. It would have been nice to keep him around if we could, but we do have a couple other strikers, so we're fine on strikers. We didn't need him, but you know, he was a decent player for us when he played. So I guess it was good to pick up some money for him, and all is good in that regard. Obviously, we brought in Harker. He's, you know, got some potential. 2.5-star current, could be as high as 4-star. We know what he does good, which is the heading, the jumping reach. So we're going to see if we can play him with that a few times here and there. Other than that, we've got Mazarov here. He comes in as a 4-star current, 4-star potential. So basically, he's already there where he needs to be. He can play all over the place, up the left, up the right, and as a striker, he probably will play a little bit of everything. Although we'll look at our tactics here in a minute. And plus, he could be trained as a midfielder if we need him to. So decent player. I mean, he's got some yellows here and there, so he's got some good potentials. Not very many negatives. One of his negatives is heading, which is fine because we have Harker for that. And he apparently has poor intelligence, but otherwise he's got a lot of really good positives. So I think he was a pretty good pickup for us. We'll see what he can turn into and what he can do for us. We then picked up Ruckus here. He's a central defender. He comes in at just 3 stars. He's right where he's at. Not going to get any better, but he's got a lot of good positives. Resolute player. Just hopefully can hold down that central spot or at least be a backup or whatever it ends up being. But hopefully a pretty solid player for us overall. Plus he's Russian. A lot of, as you can see, all of these guys are Russian except for Harker. Mikhailov comes in here from Zenit. He comes in from a loan. Probably not the best pickup in the world. He's got a lot of potential to grow into something, but will he do that this season while we've got him? I don't know. But he can play as an attacking midfielder or as a midfielder. He's obviously a pretty decent player. If he's playing for Zenit, he's worth quite a bit of money. So we'll see if he can develop a little bit over the season if we get a chance to play him quite a bit. Klimov here comes in on a free. He is another striker. Honestly, I think I had 2 strikers out. They both ultimately said yes. I was like, you know what? I can't just say no to a decent striker. So I went ahead and got another one. Probably don't need him. We've got plenty of strikers, but we'll see what happens. We're probably going to play 2 strikers for a lot of the season. We know that our guys get tired. So playing 2 strikers with guys getting tired, we're going to need some rotation. So I don't think it's a bad deal that bring him in. Plus, we don't know who's going to be good. Which of these guys ends up being good, we'll stick with. And the ones that aren't, all right, no big deal. Plus, one of our strikers is Mazarov, and he can play on the wings. So that really just leaves Galajan, Klimov, and Harker at the moment. And then finally, we just picked up, I'm not going to be able to say your names. Georgie here. That is your name. Georgie comes in, 3-star current, could be as high as 4.5-star, could be a really, really good player for us. He can play defensive midfielder potentially, or attacking midfielder, but his strength is just proper midfielder there. 23 years old, so he's got a lot of potential to grow. Apparently he has good natural fitness, and I mean, he's got some yellows. I mean, at this stage, we're looking for some good yellows here and there. Nothing too crazy. I hope maybe he'll be halfway decent for us. He played, 7.05 2 years ago for Dynamo Moscow 2, or Dynamo 2 Moscow, and he was on loan last year to Chaika. Chaika, name we cannot pronounce, and a 6.92. So not too bad overall for him. We'll see what he can do. The 2 players that we've got potentially, or maybe not 2 players, there are 2 things that are about to happen potentially. One is we've got another midfielder who can play all up and down the middle, which means he can play attacking midfielder, defensive midfielder, and center back. We've got him coming in for a potential 2.3 mil with a 4.35, going up to 4.35 conditionally, or not conditionally, on payments or something like that. I mean, he might be a pretty decent one. 4-star current, 4-star potential. I mean, really good on the defensive midfielder if we can continue to play that route. But his flexibility is one of the reasons I really wanted to get him, is that he can play up and down this line. And there's a lot of reasons that could be good for us. The other one is that Veiling here wants to go out on a loan. He's working on the contract right now, back to England. If he leaves, that is fine, because that loses us one of our foreigners, and then we will try to potentially get us another foreigner into a spot. And the spot that we probably need the most, as we come over here and look at the squad depth, and let me change up, you're already there. And by the way, preview of one of the formations I'm thinking about. The spot we need the most is a right defender, because Voropev can play over there, but he's also can play on the left, and he is our best left back. Moss can play left back, but he's one of our best midfielders, or central defenders, I should say. We really need another right defender, I think, although we have a lot of depth there. We don't have a lot of skill there. So leaning towards that as the spot we need the most. But here's one of the formations I'm looking at. As you can see, we've got a couple options for striker, several options for striker, a couple options for attacking midfielder, some decent depth in the midfield, pretty good defensive midfielders, although some of these interchange with the midfielders themselves as well. So I have to mix and match there. And then obviously our back is our back no matter which formation we're going to do. We're definitely not playing 5 at the back. So this 4 is this 4 no matter what we end up doing. The other option would be, it's similar, but a bit of a variation would be, and I'm not necessarily saying route 1 cautious, but this formation right here, a 4-3-3 DM wide. So it keeps us the defensive midfielder that we know is going to be strong, with a couple of midfielders that, we've got some good depth in. And then puts Mazarov, who can play striker, out on his left side, which is what he's strongest at, and brings Tekuchev in here on the right-hand side, which is what he's strongest at as well. This is also a pretty decent option for us. So it's like, do we play 2 strikers with Mazarov playing a striker, or do we play wingers with Mazarov playing a winger and then bring in Tekuchev in instead of us, midfielder here? Which, if you look at the midfielders, we've got Sulak, we got Georgie here, or Mikhailov, who could be solid there as well. I don't know. I'm going to play around with both. We'll try them both, and then we will see which one ends up getting us a little bit better something, from it. So that is the team. As of right now, in the competition, we are, season preview has us in 11th place. But same odds as people going all the way up as high as 7th place. So I would say that they're basically rating this group about the same. So we could get up there. We could get up there and potentially push for something, but I don't know. We'll see. Looks like Neftekimik, the team that we played last Journeyman Glory Hunter last year, they are relegated back down. So we're going to have to play against them, which is going to be interesting to see. Which is funny thing about that is didn't we promote them up and then relegate them again? Or no, we promoted them up, switched to a different team in Russia, and then I think we relegated that team or something of that nature. I can't remember exactly the order of events. You guys will have to go look that up. But we definitely got them promoted up, which was fun. We'll see if how they do this season. But that's the team. Here's the schedule. Nothing to write home about. We were playing a lot of trials and stuff like that, so don't read anything into the friendlies. By the way, we've got a second team now. We have AVANGARD KURSK 2. I don't know how much impact that will have on us, but we'll see. We'll see if that does anything for us as the season progresses, but it exists. So there you go. I don't think there's anything else to see. The finances, we got a little bit of money left in the transfers. We got quite a bit of budget in the wage budget. Scouting budget, is what it is. Overall balance, not looking super great, to be honest, but we're going to see what we can do. I haven't looked at the dev center much because I wasn't planning on being here long enough to develop any of these guys, if I were to be perfectly honest. But nobody's really jumping in to first team candidates at the moment. So there is that. Anything else I wanted to look at? I don't think so. One big thing. Chagrov, obviously our star striker or star goalkeeper, is out for 2 to 5 weeks. So this beginning of this season is going to be a little bit rough as we have to use our backup goalkeeper. Thankfully, our backup goalkeeper is not terrible. He should be able to do the job reasonably well, actually. So, like I said, I think this might be the formation we begin on this first game, at least to start it. Now, I'm gonna bring Harker in. I don't know. I have a feeling. I could be wrong. I could be way off base, but I have a feeling that he might surprise us. We'll see. But anyway, that's the intro, or not the intro, the preseason, the transfer special, and all that kind of stuff. Tomorrow's episode will be our first game of our first full season within the Russian First Division. I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.